Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our final Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Yesterday, hopefully you tuned in to episode 2143. We answered 6 amazing questions from our community. Of course, I would expect nothing less from our health-based community. People all over the world really dedicated to figuring out the root cause to their wellness, their weight loss, their anti-aging, or their aging-based questions. That's what we do. We've done this now for many, many years, and it feels great to be able to give back in some way, even if it's just a second opinion or another place to look. I love being able to answer these questions. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Much appreciated for your support. All right, let's get right into the questions. That is why we're here. If you want to follow along with the questions, you can go to stephencabral.com. And that's with a PH. A lot of people spell it with a V. It's stephencabral.com with a PH, and it's /2144. All right, first question's from Lara. Lara says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. This podcast is my favorite thing of the day. I listen to it while preparing my lemon water and smoothie in the morning." I'm happy to hear that, Lara. Appreciate that. Which brings me to my questions. I usually make a huge smoothie with everything you could think of: frozen berries, greens, protein powder, lots of herbs, spices, mushrooms, powders, turmeric, etc. It comes out pretty big, so I started freezing half of it for the days I don't have to make it. Does freezing and then defrosting destroy some of the benefits of the ingredients which are blended together? My second question is, even though I eat quite a big bowl of it, I still feel hungry and shaky after it. I don't have the energy in my muscles to do any real movement or exercise. That feeling sometimes stays with me for most of the day or until I eat something solid, which makes me feel bloated or uncomfortable in the stomach. Is this weird considering I do use healthy fats and proteins and carbs in the smoothie? And it's a really big amount of it. Thanks so much for your answer and everything you do. Much love to you, your family, and everyone in the community. Same back to you. I mean, that's what we are here all to do. So there's a lot to dissect here, and I'm going to dissect all of it right now for you. So I'm happy to do that. All right. So one is, when you put a million things in your smoothie, you could be sensitive to one of them, and you just don't know. And it's like so many things at once. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything you're putting in is absolutely fantastic. But I think what we need to do is simplify the smoothie first, because I always help people by figuring out variables. I'm literally, everything in life is just, to me, about variables. Like, we can help you achieve anything you want, literally anything you want, as long as you're willing to work the variables. So when you have 20 things in your smoothie, well, there's 20 different variables, right? For me, I put in 2 different fruit. Typically, it's a half a frozen banana in the morning, and I throw in some berries. And then I use the daily nutritional support powder, and then I have water. I used to do nut milk and some water. Now I just do water. But again, you can choose to do that. And so like I'm simplifying, right? I do my daily fruit and vegetable blends. I do that actually before the shake. I like that away from it. That's just how I do it. A lot of people throw theirs right in. They throw their vitamin C in. There goes my vitamins, everything, right? And that's fine as long as it doesn't cause an issue for you, right? Here's the thing though. Your ratio may be off for potassium to sodium. You might have a lot of good potassium in that shake, and it's making you feel more lethargic. That happens. It's not common, but since we've seen hundreds of thousands of people, I see all these random cases. So first and foremost, add a little bit of sea salt to the shake. Test it out. Or if you don't like the taste of that in your shake, you put a little sea salt in your mouth, drink down the shake. It's just one sip, then the sea salt's gone. So you can try that. I'm not talking about a teaspoon. I'm talking about a pinch of sea salt, right? Some red bin sea salt, some Himalayan sea salt, because you got all these greens, right? And you've got a lot of fruit with a lot of probably potassium in there. Make sure you're getting the sodium to balance it out. I've seen it before. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not, okay? The other thing is, make sure you get enough protein. You may not be getting enough protein with everything else that you're adding. Maybe you are, again, maybe you aren't. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? 15 to 20 grams of protein, you should be fine. Okay, so there's one more question about frozen and then defrosting. Okay, the freezing process usually does not hurt anything in your fruits and your veggies except enzymes. So I have no problem with you doing this. I don't. You could freeze it if you'd like to, okay? Hopefully that was helpful. If I didn't get everything, right back in, happy to help. All right, Lara's up. Oh, Lara's up again. Hi, Dr. Cabral. One more smoothie-related question. I usually eat an apple after my smoothie. Is that okay? Or should I eat an apple before the smoothie? And how much time before? I usually also have some dried berries every day, blueberries, cranberries, goji, etc. I remember you said dried fruit isn't the best, but I'm not sure why. Is it the same for dried berries? Thank you so much again. Okay, 2 things about dried fruit. It's concentrated sugar, okay? And it is aged. So sometimes it drives people with histamine issues like allergies, asthma, migraines, headaches, skin issues, etc., a little crazy. So it's more prone to growing mold, right? So it's like I'm not saying dried fruit's bad, but you want to have it after you've already done some movement, like some exercise or things like that. So that's that. I don't usually recommend dried fruit. I recommend fresh fruit. I mean, it's not. Remember how the drying process works. The fruit kind of rots out, shrinks down, and that's that. Now you can actually use a dehydrator, and that's actually maybe a little bit more of a cleaner way of doing it. But here's the thing: you may be eating just way too much fruit for the day. I don't know. I mean, again, I eat a lot of fruit, so don't get me wrong. I eat 3 cups of fruit per day. Would I say 3 cups of fruit? 3 to 4 cups of fruit. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I'm very active. I have a body type that allows me to burn that. So I just want to make sure that it's the right amount for you. Again, I don't know that. Some people only 1 cup of berries a day is enough. It's hard for me to answer that, but I can answer the part about the apple before or after the smoothie. You just did a smoothie with fruit in it. Why are we having then an apple after the smoothie? I don't know. I don't think that that's probably the best idea. Why not have it 3 hours later, a half hour before lunch? That's probably more what I would do. Okay. Like let's give the body time to digest the smoothie, then no food. And then maybe a half hour before lunch, you have your apple and then have your lunch. I do that sometimes. That's okay. Because that'll digest then before you put in your other proteins. All right. Anonymous is up next. And Lara, hopefully that was helpful. All right. Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've been a listener for 1.5 years now and enjoy all the different types of shows you do. Since you are really into Ayurveda and spirituality of sorts, I was wondering if you've heard of human design yet. It is a holistic self-knowledge system combining astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, and Vedic philosophy. It would be really interesting if you would do an episode about it or maybe even an interview on it. I've only heard about it last Christmas, but since then I've met a lot of people that found great help in knowing themselves better through it. Alleviating conditioning by society, and overall starting to accept themselves better because of understanding oneself, including me. Hope you find it interesting. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. All right, well, this is one of those times where I am learning as the student. I have never heard of human design, but I've heard of all the others that you're talking about. So I'm going to look up human design, try to learn more about it myself, and see if I can integrate it into the podcast as well. All right. I think over the last year, I've probably brought in one new type of healing, and that was internal family systems that I've been trying to share with people. I've done so much work on myself over the years. I feel really good. I mean, I think I've really done a lot of work deep on a subconscious level that, I'm very happy. I'm very comfortable in who I am. I just want to be the best person that I can be for my family, for our community. And that's really it. I always make decisions for the greater good. I don't really I can tell you, I don't put myself before that in terms of my team at work, our community, formulations, anything that I do. But, it wasn't always that way. It's been a long journey for sure. I've been working on myself now for just a little over 20 years since I learned that you could even do this. I know it's hard to believe, but not everybody knows that you can actually change who you are, right? I didn't know that. I had no idea. I don't know. Most families never talk about this. I didn't learn it from where I was from. I didn't get taught it in high school. I didn't get taught it in college. So I had to find out about it on my own. That's basically what I'm saying. So 23, 24 years old, I learned about this whole new thing of self-development. I'm like, whoa, you can actually change who you are. You can basically be, do, become anything you want in your life. And so it's been a pretty amazing discovery. And I wish I found internal family systems sooner. And I think it's very, very helpful for many people. I know nothing about human design, so I will look it up. Thank you so much for teaching me this today. All right, that was from Anonymous. Darren's up next. Good day, Dr. Brawl. I got excited when I saw, well, I don't know. Can I say this? Okay, yes, I can. I saw CNN with the news headline, eating fat can lower stroke risk. Study says as long as it's the right kind. Let's see. But got disappointed as the article went on. The American Heart Association director and senior scientist went on to promote liquid vegetable oils, corn oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, which are high in polyunsaturated fats, and monounsaturated like canola oil. How does one tell their family, coworkers, clients, and friends to stay away from those plant-based oils when the AHA of all people are promoting them? Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, Darren. I totally understand what you're saying. Here's the thing. These come from plants that if you were to eat them in their natural state before oxidized into an oil, they wouldn't necessarily be bad for you at all. And we see that. We see that in many, many years of Ayurvedic medicine. And monounsaturated, we know that if we look at that, not as canola oil, but monounsaturated fat is literally like, again, you can make all sorts of issues with polyunsaturated fats because when they become oxidized, it's a disaster. And you can make all sorts of arguments against saturated fat because some people, not everyone, but about 26% of the population do really poorly with saturated fats. It makes their cholesterol climb, especially their oxidized cholesterol, can cause liver-based issues, all sorts of different things. But monounsaturated fats, if you look at those are basically the cornerstone, really the cornerstone for all of these healthy fat-based diets, Mediterranean diet, etc. So you just don't want to, again, you with your polyunsaturated fats and your monounsaturated fats, you don't want to heat them up. You don't want to oxidize them. So the problem is, I mean, again, think about it. The American Heart Association, if they were actually doing anything to help people with heart disease, it wouldn't be the number one killer in the United States. Let's be honest, right? So more people die of heart-related issues than anything else in the world, and especially in the United States. 1 out of 2.5 or so people, 1 out of 3 definitely die from heart disease in their lifetime. And it doesn't mean that they die from it like, at 85, 90 years old. No, it cuts their life short by about a decade. So also the American Heart Association, when you look at it, we're looking at where does this money come from? I mean, they'll recommend dairy, they'll recommend anything based on basically big corporate dollars. I mean, that's really what it is. So any oil in the first place is suspect. I'm okay with some olive oil. I'm okay with some avocado oil. I'm okay with a little bit of coconut oil. And I'm not going to cook with my olive oil at a high heat. I'm not going to cook with avocado at a high heat. If you use them at all for cooking, you're going to mix some lemon in there, some garlic in there, some antioxidants so it doesn't oxidize. So again, we're just kind of going back to good quality, clean, non-processed food. And that's really what it comes down to. But also, Darren, you could also send them plenty of studies that shows all of the inflammatory issues that come along with polyunsaturated fats when they're created as this liquid, right? So that's a big part of it. Basically, what the American Heart Association and a lot of these places do is they say, you just can't eat saturated fat. And then the people in the saturated fat camp say, you can eat everything, you can't eat any other fats except saturated fat because they don't oxidize. The problem is that people cherry pick their research. Right? They cherry pick it. That's it. They're like, this supports my belief system, so I'm going to talk about this. And that's all they do because you can't actually say saturated fat does not have its downsides because those are really clearly spelled out. And then you can't say that there's no issues with these vegetable oils, and it sounds good because it has the word vegetable before it. But of course, there's lots of issues with those due to oxidation, right? Due to free radicals that creates inflammation in the body. So again, it's never an all for one. People look for just like the silver bullet. The saturated fat people who are all in on that are wrong. The polys are all in on that are wrong as well. And it's only because they're not balanced at all. Again, like you can't make an argument unless you're balanced. You can look back in history. You are absolutely 100% of the time not right if you're all in on one particular direction. It goes like that with like everything in life. You have to say, is this actually balanced? People are eating 70 to 80% of their calories right now from fat. It's completely insane. It's completely insane. I mean, there's no human diet that ever revolved on 80% fat. And you can actually point to a couple tribes. You say, okay, look at them. And they die in their mid 50s. So again, you're kind of making, not my point, but you're making a healthy diet's point that is not healthy. All right. Rant over. I got to move on. All right. Actually, Darren, it looks like you're up again. Darren says, hey, Dr. Cabral, I've been wondering, do you still maintain your weekly fast since you have embarked on muscle gaining journey, or do you put it on hold to attain that current goal? Also, have you noticed any drastic pros or drawbacks since you began? Keep up the great work. Darren, great question. And I just did an update on both of those. You're going to find those podcasts on episode 2134 and 2144. Is that one? Yes. So 2134 and 2141. And you wrote in at the mid November, so you wouldn't have known that I've already done it. So basically what happened is everything was going well. I'm feeling great. I put on like 5 or 6 pounds, and I was leaner, which just blew my mind. But it's because, again, as you ramp up your resistance training, your metabolism gets boosted. And I was doing the extra smoothie and everything. So it was working great. And then I got the virus, and that took me out of the game for 2 weeks. Basically 3 or 4 days not feeling well. I've already mentioned this before. About a week of really feeling tired. And then I eased back in the gym. And then when I did, I actually changed my routine because I always go to the point where, like, all right, I want to get back up to 174, all these different goals, which are completely arbitrary. And so I explain why I made that shift before, but I was feeling great. The only thing I can tell you is that 2 days on for me in a row with resistance training, the inflammation starts to creep up a bit. When I do my recovery, I do all these things, but I'm also not, I'm not in my early 20s anymore. So I found a workout that works great for me, and I always push it. I always push myself, and I believe everybody should do the same. But I'm also willing to change as needed. So now you'll check out my new workout. It's not easy by any means, but it's 3 days resistance, 2 days cardio, and then some fun stuff on the weekend. So Darren, check that out. I think you'll like it. And I would love to hear your thoughts as well. All right. Anyway, but I'm still, I got the smoothie right here, second of the day. Still loving that. That's been a game changer for me. We'll see. We'll see if I keep it going forever. But for right now, I feel amazing with it. I really do. And it's getting me even more good whole food nutrition. All right. Anonymous is up last today. What does Anonymous say? What's the reason for accelerated heart rate after meals? No change in diet, all the same. I've started experiencing heart palpitations and accelerated heart rate, and sometimes even it twitches after my meals, even with smoothies. It happens the moment I put something in my stomach. Really weird. Anonymous, I don't know if this is you from yesterday, but I'm telling you, I get your questions. I'm answering them. No doubt about it. They're coming, right? It just takes about, there's a little delay in the answering, of course. It takes about 6 weeks before we get to them. All right. So I don't know if this is you or not. So I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt that this wasn't from the same person yesterday. That's why the anonymous is really difficult, right? So here's the thing. After a meal, if you get heart palpitations, really a good sign, a possible sign, not a good thing, but a possible sign that it's an IgE or maybe even an IgA-related food sensitivity. You eat it, and then all of a sudden, you're creating a little bit of an immune reaction to it. Not an allergy like an anaphylactic issue, but nonetheless a food sensitivity, an allergy to it. These things can be tested for, okay? Now, another reason is that you are simply eating foods that are causing a histamine or some type of amine-related issue. It could be the same family of kind of sensitivity-based reactions. I always go back to leukotrienes because I have massive leukotriene issues as well as histamines. So that's a possible reason as well. So you're having your heart rate speeding up. Why? Because norepinephrine is released, adrenaline is released, and that's going to speed up the heart rate because you're having a reaction to it, okay? Now, the third one, and I explained this on yesterday's show, 2143, is when your body is not in a balanced autonomic state, which means that fight or flight is too geared up in your body. You're too anxious. You're too revved up. When you go to eat, your body knows that it should switch to the parasympathetic. That's the rest and relax and digest. That allows you to start producing stomach acid, to churn the food a little bit in the stomach, to get the pylorus, the bottom part of the stomach, to release that pyloric acid. That's not the exact word that I'm looking for. Pepsin. And you get your hydrochloric acid mixed there. And then it starts the pump reaction of basically moving a little bit of digested food through the gastric valve, the pyloric valve, into the duodenum, which is that first part of the small intestine. I wish I had my little mannequin right there. I would put them on the desk and show you. And that's what's supposed to happen. Now, if you're all revved up, your body's trying to press down on what I call the brake, right? On your car, you're hitting the brake, but you're still on the gas at the same time. It can cause that increase in heart rate because your body literally doesn't know whether it should stop or go. It's kind of like that halting reaction. So that can be an issue. So if that's the case, take a 5-minute breathwork break. Download any of the free breathwork apps that I recommended. Calm the sympathetic nervous system, relax the body, and then start your meal. So hopefully that's helpful. It'll give you a couple tips either way, and you can certainly look to see what it might be. Those are our 6 questions for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I do appreciate you. I really do. I'll be back tomorrow with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. I can't wait. I love the Monday shows. And of course, if any of this is helpful, pay it forward. Share it with someone else. So hopefully they get the same results that hopefully you have as well. All right. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show, and a big announcement we have for you. That is January 10th. January 10th is our next community detox. That means people all over the world, thousands of people all over the world. Our goal is 10,000 this January 10th, completing the EcoLife Detox. That is a functional medicine detox that is going to help you with your overall wellness, get you deeper into autophagy, right? Such an important thing that many of us are hearing about and needing to take advantage of. It's going to help with overall healthy levels of blood sugar, healthy levels of inflammation, healthy levels of balancing hormones, and so much more. So whether you're looking to transform your overall health, your body transformation, weight loss, anti-aging is going to help you with that. If you only do one thing, I'm telling you right now, if you only do one thing to kickstart your 2022, it is the 7, 14, or 21-day detox. Choose the 21-day detox if you're dealing with wellness issues, weight gain issues, or aging-based issues, and if you've never done a functional medicine detox before, which is not a cleanse, it's not teas, it's not juices, it's not any of those things. I don't have a problem with those things, but they are not functional medicine detoxes, which is completely different. And if you've already been doing your functional medicine detoxes, well, then join us for a 7-day detox this January 10th. We will be posting every single day inside of our community support group at cabralsupportgroup.com. Completely free. We'll be cheering you along, providing support, answering your questions. Thousands of people complete this, and we hope you do too. But right now, you can actually get a 7-day detox completely free. It is buy 3, get 1 free. That saves you $99. That means you could join with 3 other friends, 4 other friends, and each save $25, or buy 3, get 1 free, and use them each quarter for 2022. Because if you're following the naturopathic and the Ayurvedic way of detoxing with each season for overall robust health and wellness and body transformation and aging, this is the way to do it. So you can stock up on your entire year's worth and actually get 1 free. So now you have one for January, the beginning of April, beginning of July, and mid-September. Save $99. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop. That will take you over to the EcoLife site, or go directly to the detox page. Head on over to stevencabral.com/detox to save $99 while supplies last.